Well, we're honored and pleased that our next guest agreed to come back on the show. Talk about slumming it. Academy Award winner for Mighty Aphrodite. She's been in so many great films. One of my favorites, one of your favorite shows.
Oh, Lady Dynamite.
Yeah, so we'll talk to her about all that. But she's part of the new Netflix series that has made its way onto that platform. It's called Hollywood. Please welcome back Mira Sorvino. Mira, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it, and thanks for coming back on the show. We had you on a few years ago, and despite our actions, you decided to come on again. We really embarrassed ourselves.
I wasn't here the first time you were on, so
That's right.
I am just chuffed to bits that I get the chance to talk to you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, first, if you don't mind, we're going to do Fanboy Fangirl, because Stephanie and I are big fans, and I think the last time you were on, we talked about one of my favorite movies, which is Beautiful Girls, and I think back on that ensemble cast. That was like, an all-star game. It was crazy, and every time it's on, I watch the movie. It's just a spectacular movie, and loved you in it.
Oh, thank you.
I was tickled pink when I love Maria Bamford. Couldn't wait for her show. I'm watching Lady Dynamite, and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, I got to get this right. Mira Sorvino is playing a woman playing her. How intense was that?
That was so much fun. I think there were actually 4 different characters, like one playing the next,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately it's supposed to be me playing all of them, but I'm not even really me. I like take off the space in a Prius at the end of it. So
Right, yeah.
You created different voices for each one, and yeah, it was at a certain point I'm British and I'm doing Lady Macbeth, and it was super fun.
We're here with Mira Sorvino, and the new show coming on Netflix is called Hollywood, and I'm reading some of the press, and basically the tenet of the series is aspiring actors and filmmakers post World War II trying to make it big. And then the last line is, no matter the cost. Now, we've learned over the years that there are several prices to pay, and I'm wondering, without giving away too much, what is the cost? What are some of the costs, Mira?
I think in this story, in the first episode, it kind of details the goings-on at this gas station, and there was a similar gas station to this in history, but a gas station where the pump boys are actually also paid escorts. And clients would come up and say, take me to Dreamland, and they would go off in the car with one of these handsome young men. Both men and women would be clients. And I think a lot of that was also, though, talking about the closeted nature of Hollywood at that point, and the only way people could have sort of relationships was through this sort of hidden fashion. So, some of these young men found themselves with no way to make money besides doing something like this, and especially the young gay men that were trying to make it as actors and screenwriters, etc. It kind of pivots from there into really being more about the life of this studio, but some of those same characters are still involved that we first meet at the gas station. And my character is actually an actress who is it's a consensual relationship with a studio head, but it's not an egalitarian one. Like, he has all the power and I have none, but I feel, and it's been a 10-year kind of affair, but I feel like if I ever try and leave it, I'll never work again. Like, I'll be fired and won't have any way to subsist, especially because my character is kind of a woman of a certain age. But she doesn't feel good about that, and she ends up sort of renouncing it and apologizing for it. But then she's greeted with this incredible generosity of these 2 women who end up having power at the studio, who actually want to give her a hand up and want to treat her as a talented person who should just be judged based on the merits of her talent rather than any other qualities. And that's one of the things about this story that's truly incredible, because it's like revisionist history. It basically says, what if people were honored for who they were and what they brought to the table rather than the old quid pro quo systems, rather than the lack of representation, forcing black actresses to play maids instead of allowing them to be leading ladies, casting Asian roles with white women that would put on yellow face, making people who were non-heteronormative in terms of their sexual preferences or gender identity masquerade as straight their whole lives and never see characters like themselves represented on screen. This poses the question, like, well, why not? Why not choose now as the time to be fair and kind and good and open and honest, and just make Hollywood represent real life and share that message with the whole world, so the whole world gets less racist, less sexist, less homophobic, and just traffics in reality and kindness and goodness and authenticity.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful story. It actually ends up being like heart melting. Like it's there's just so much happiness and beauty in this story. By the end of it, I think people are going to be kind of blown away.
We're here with Mira Sorvino, and the new Netflix series is Hollywood. Just having you describe it, I cannot wait to watch this series.
Yep.
And in an era where there are hundreds of series to watch, I have a feeling this is going to be one of those that people talk about the next day or the next week or whatever it happens to be.
This is water cooler.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And especially what has gone on lately in the past 5 to 10 years and so on and so forth. So I think, yeah, when you say revisionist, it's certainly applicable there. We've only got a couple of moments left with Mira Sorvino, and you're a big star and coming from a Hollywood family, and we like to ask people after they became famous who they met that they caused them to be speechless. Did that ever happen to you?
Were you ever starstruck?
Let's see. I think I met Ginger Rogers when I was a girl, and that I was pretty darn starstruck with that. I met Mikhail Baryshnikov. I was pretty starstruck with him. I got to work with Marlon Brando, and I was starstruck that whole time. But I had to work with him, so I had to get over my initial being dumbstruck. I'd say those are probably the top three of. But I got to work with Sophia Loren, and she was so incredible. What a great lady. Beautiful, wonderful, brilliant, talented soul. Like just everything you would hope she was. She was.
You know what? That story, those recollections are Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right there. And we appreciate you being on with us. Congratulations. And we can't wait to watch Hollywood on Netflix. Mira Sorvino, everybody. Thanks, Mira.
Thank you.